The beginning, the promise of a new Icelandic challenger. In 2019, just months after WOW Air's dramatic collapse, the Icelandic aviation market was left unstable and vulnerable. Travelers had lost trust, investors were cautious, and the national economy had been shaken by the loss of billions in tourism revenue. Yet out of this uncertain environment, PLAY Airlines emerged with a bold vision to reclaim Iceland's role as the low-cost gateway between North America and Europe. The idea behind PLAY was both simple and seductive. Take everything that worked from WOW Air's low-cost transatlantic model, remove the excess spending and operational chaos that led to its failure, and execute the plan more cautiously, more efficiently, and with a more modern fleet. PLAY's founders believed Iceland's geography was its greatest natural advantage, a midpoint between continents that could attract cost-sensitive travelers willing to make a quick stopover in Reykjavik. The airline entered commercial service in June 2021, right as global travel was reopening after pandemic restrictions. The timing appeared perfect. Aircraft painted in striking red livery symbolized a fresh start, and the name PLAY was chosen to convey an easy, relaxed, and optimistic brand personality. Investors hoped this new airline would restore the air traffic through Keflavik International Airport that Iceland's tourism industry depended on. With a young fleet of Airbus A320 Neo family aircraft designed for fuel-efficient operations, PLAY aimed to fly light, fast, and profitably. On the surface, it seemed PLAY had learned from history and was ready to write a new future. But beneath that promising beginning, structural vulnerabilities were already forming. Vulnerabilities that no branding or optimism could solve. The rise growth fueled by momentum, not stability. In the first year of operation, PLAY Airlines experienced what looked like the early signs of a remarkable rise. Load factors gradually improved, passenger numbers increased each quarter, and the company quickly expanded its route network from a handful of European cities into key transatlantic destinations such as the United States and Canada. The airline's marketing focused heavily on affordability, flexibility, and Iceland as a memorable layover destination. A pitch that resonated deeply with travelers eager to explore again after pandemic isolation. PLAY expanded its fleet and announced new route launches at a rapid pace, believing that scale would allow it to compete with stronger rivals and stabilize revenue. For a brief moment, success seemed not only possible but imminent. However, this growth was fueled more by ambition than by measured financial strength. The company had thin cash reserves, high leasing costs, and little room for operational miscalculations. Low-cost airlines survive on razor-thin margins, and even slight demand fluctuations can destroy profitability. PLAY's early expansion relied on assumptions that transatlantic demand would remain resilient year-round, that fuel prices would stay manageable, and that competition would remain fragmented. But aviation is a volatile industry where assumptions rarely hold. PLAY's rapid ascent concealed structural imbalances. Revenue was highly seasonal, operational costs steadily increased, and the airline still lacked the premium segments or business travel partnerships that could provide financial cushioning during downturns. Investors saw growth, but not stability. PLAY was climbing fast, but it was climbing without a safety net.
PLAY Airlines has decided it will cease operations.
The mistakes: strategic, financial, and competitive blind spots. While PLAY's story was marketed as smart, efficient growth, the underlying execution was riddled with critical miscalculations. The first and most damaging was its over-reliance on low fares to fill seats. PLAY needed high load factors every single month to break even, not just in summer but in deep winter when travel demand collapses across the North Atlantic. Without a strong premium cabin or corporate revenue stream to balance seasonal swings, PLAY was trapped in a cycle where it could only compete on price, a dangerous position against larger airlines capable of absorbing losses on select routes. The second major mistake was aggressive expansion with insufficient financial depth. Each new route brought marketing expenses, operational uncertainty, and long lead times before profitability. Rapid fleet additions increased fixed lease obligations, locking PLAY into high monthly payments regardless of revenue performance. When fuel prices spiked or demand dipped, there was no buffer. The third and often overlooked factor was competitive positioning. Play underestimated the growing number of airlines offering direct low-cost transatlantic flights using the same new fuel-efficient aircraft, eliminating Reykjavik's stopover advantage. Customer loyalty remained weak since passengers chose Play for cost, not brand attachment. Operational delays and reliability issues only worsened public perception. These missteps formed a structural trap: higher costs, lower pricing power, shrinking margins, and growing investor anxiety. Play continued to project confidence, but financial reality was moving in the opposite direction. Every ambitious decision widened the distance between the airline's vision and its sustainability. The downfall. When liquidity disappears, so does the airline. By 2025, the weaknesses Play had been hiding could no longer remain beneath the surface. Passenger demand softened more than expected, particularly in the winter months, causing revenue shortfalls that rapidly drained the company's limited cash reserves. Operational disruptions sparked negative press, and customer confidence began to erode, damaging forward bookings precisely when the airline needed them most. Play was caught in a downward spiral. Declining sales led to liquidity shortages, which led to cuts and operational instability, which further weakened bookings. In an airline, once the market senses trouble, the collapse accelerates. Lessors and creditors tightened pressure. Investors hesitated to inject fresh capital into a business that now looked increasingly similar to the airline it was supposed to replace. WOW Air. In late September 2025, the inevitable happened. With no bailout, no major investor rescue, and no remaining time to restructure, Play suspended operations and filed for bankruptcy. Aircraft were grounded overnight. Thousands of passengers were stranded, employees were left uncertain, and Iceland once again woke up to the news of a national aviation dream collapsing under the weight of financial reality. The tragedy of Play was not that the idea was flawed. Iceland truly can serve as a powerful aviation crossroads. The tragedy was that the execution rushed ahead of sustainability. Like many low-cost challengers before it, Play grew faster than its profits could justify, and when conditions shifted, there was nothing left to keep it flying. The downfall was sudden, but the causes had been building from the very beginning. The ending. What remains after the silence? When the final Play aircraft rolled to a stop and the cabin doors opened for the last time, an unsettling quiet settled over Icelandic Aviation. An airline that once promised connection and excitement now existed only in memories and unfinished travel plans. There was no dramatic explosion, no single moment of spectacular failure, just a gradual unraveling that finally reached a point where continuation was impossible. And in that silence, the lessons became clear. Play had always aimed high, hoping to prove that Iceland could again bridge two continents with the power of a low fare. But aviation is a business where confidence must always be matched by caution and where growth must be earned, not simply announced. The downfall of Play teaches us that an airline cannot survive on optimism alone. A strong idea must be supported by financial depth, operational resilience, and a plan that understands both the peaks of summer and the cold shadows of winter. As the red planes disappear from flight trackers and the brand fades into history, what remains is a reminder. In the skies above the North Atlantic, ambition can take you far, but sustainability determines whether you stay there. Play tried to rewrite the story WOW Air left behind, but instead it became another chapter in the same cautionary tale. And so the curtain falls on Play Airlines, not with applause, but with a quiet understanding of how close success and failure can fly before one runs out of runway.